30 grams of protein in a chicken breast is about 4 ounces.
Mm-hmm.
That's a little. To equate that to, say, a plant-based protein, it would be about 6 cups of quinoa.
6 cups of quinoa.
Yeah.
To get to get the amino acid equivalent of 4 ounces of chicken breast.
So that is metabolically devastating. If we talk about carbohydrates, we can really talk about what that means and the best amount of carbohydrates. But really, when you think about carbohydrates, it has to be dosed in a meal threshold, right? Because you want to maintain insulin levels. You don't want to have a very robust insulin response, but you have to protect your tissue. So the difference between animal-based proteins and, quality versus plant is you have to consume maybe 35% more. And it has so many more carbohydrates.
Yeah.
So it's just not doable. So this becomes very dangerous with this current narrative. Everybody's talking about going more plant-based. But the data, the NHANES data, which is the largest data set, would suggest we're already plant-based. But as it relates to protein, we can't confuse a plant-based diet with a high-quality protein diet. You just cannot. When you think about protein quality, you think about the DIAS. So these are digestibility amino acid scores. And these are hard, fast biological numbers. And it's really based on the quality of the amino acids and the digestibility of the amino acids. And, when you really, a good practical way to think about that is animal-based proteins, including eggs or whey, those kinds of things, have a higher amino acid score. They are higher in the bioavailability. Mm-hmm. Whereas plant, and there's some researchers out there that would say soy and wheat are just the same. You can look at a steak, that steak is not the same quality as a broccoli. The quality of muscle tissue, skeletal muscle tissue that we eat is very similar to our own tissue. And it provides the correct amino acid profile, in particular those branch chains, those leucine, isoleucine, and valine, that we need in the correct amounts. And that's where it becomes so important to understand that it's not just eat high quality protein. It's eat the correct amount of protein in a 24-hour period, which is arguably well above double the RDA. So the RDA is 0.8 grams per kilogram. 1.6 grams per kilogram is probably still on the lower end.
Wow.
In my clinical practice, I recommend 1 gram per pound ideal body weight. Because protein isn't just about muscle. It also helps with appetite regulation. And we know body composition is the ultimate. But we don't really eat for protein. We eat for those amino acids. And there's 20 different amino acids and they do all kinds of different things. And that's what we need. So you have to understand that it's a 24-hour period. And then you have to break it down to bolus feeding meals. And that's so important, especially as we're aging and especially when we think about sarcopenia, which is the loss of muscle mass and function, and when we think about anabolic resistance.